We will now begin the closing ceremony for the Seoul Conference on Cyberspace 2013. His Excellency, Mr. Yoon Byung-se, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea, will deliver the Chair's statement. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Excellency, Mr. Yoon, with a big round of applause.
Thank you. The government of the Republic of Korea has been honored to host the third conference on cyberspace in Seoul, following the meetings in London and Budapest. The conference enhanced the global awareness on the growing importance of cyberspace and the need to strengthen international cooperation to promote prosperity and security. The process continues to work towards international consensus on how we develop the future of cyberspace. We have been pleased to welcome a wide range of stakeholders from government, industry, civil society, and the youth. Delegates from 87 countries, including 43 ministers and vice ministers, attended. We are especially pleased to have welcomed many more delegates from developing countries this year. Together, we identified a number of key policies, actions, and best practices necessary to realize the economic and social benefits of cyberspace and to ensure that they are made available for all. We found areas of common ground on the elements that promote an open and secure cyberspace and reflected them in the Seoul framework for and commitment to open and secure cyberspace. We believe this document represents the summary of where international consensus among governments has been achieved. We recognize that economic growth, social progress, and security are interdependent, and they need to be taken forward together. Many states stress that respect for fundamental human rights is as essential in the online world as it is in the offline world. We recognize that major challenges remain. We must do more to close the digital divide and find ways to maintain an open and secure cyberspace. We are committed to working together to harness the opportunities and address these challenges. We hope that the outcome of the conference, including the Seoul framework, will provide constructive guidance to the international community on the way forward. Over the last 2 days, we held in-depth discussions on cyber issues as a whole, from the economy, cybercrime, to international security. The critical importance of capacity building, which was incorporated as a standalone agenda in the Seoul conference this year, featured prominently in all our discussions. Participants recognized the importance of a holistic approach, drawing together technology, policy, and skills development, and that capacity building in cybersecurity should be an integral part of wider approaches to ICT for development. While many good capacity building programs are underway, more needed to be done to communicate the different sources of assistance available and how they support each other. We also need to do more to increase the pace and scale of delivery. We heard compelling examples of how cyberspace has facilitated impressive economic growth and the ways in which innovation and entrepreneurship are creating new businesses and opening new markets. Investment in technology and education has played an essential role, but developing enabling policies and legislations has proved equally important. Multi-stakeholder involvement in the policymaking process was seen as critical. Much work has been done on developing principles and model policy approaches to promote the internet economy. We now need to make these relevant and accessible to all. Participants discussed how to expand the debate from access to infrastructure to include access to content, including locally generated content, which promotes and respects cultural diversity and encourages greater participation. Increasing involvement of all stakeholders with an interest in ICTs can help manage the risks of storing personal data on social media and other databases. An important part of this is to encourage all users to understand their rights and responsibilities. The conference addressed a range of cyber threats. A constant theme was the importance of embedding security within the context of wider economic and social benefits. Good examples of progress were cited, especially at the regional level. But there was general consensus that more needs to be done to strengthen the architecture of our global cooperation. This includes building on measures to enhance mutual trust and confidence. Participants also noted that there are essential but low-cost measures that can eliminate cyber threats. The development of coherent domestic legislative frameworks underpins our ability to tackle threats collectively. Participants welcomed partnerships between law enforcement agencies and the private sector and the establishment of international organizations to tackle cybercrime effectively. Building consensus on norms on cyberspace was recognized at London as a long-term process. Good progress has been made in this area, especially at the UN group of governmental experts. But differences of emphasis remained on how we ensure that the management of critical internet resources can be made more equitable and on how we reconcile or accommodate differing national legal policies and processes. The majority of participants stressed that the multi-stakeholder approach should underpin everything that we do. It's essential to build on this Seoul framework to ensure that the views of all stakeholders, including the industry and civil society, are taken into account. A number of practical proposals to take this forward were identified. All in all, the benefits are clear, and it's also becoming clearer what we needed to do to secure them. Today, in Seoul, we highlighted the actions required by each of us and as an international community to ensure we achieve global prosperity through an open and secure cyberspace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Next, the Right Honourable Francis Maude, Minister for the Cabinet Office and Paymaster General of the United Kingdom, will deliver appreciation remarks and the way forward. Would you please welcome the Right Honourable Francis Maude with a warm round of applause.
Thank you very much indeed. It's my pleasure and honour to congratulate Foreign Minister Yoon and all of your gracious Korean colleagues for hosting such a spectacular conference. Foreign Minister, you and your team have demonstrated formidable convening power, sharp policy insights, attention to detail, and really expert organization. I'd like to pay particular thanks to those who have worked so tirelessly during the past year in the preparatory secretariat under the guidance and motivation of Ambassador Choi and Director Rim. Your conference has brought together more countries than ever into the debate on the future of cyberspace. Some 90 countries are represented here, not only by government ministers such as myself, but also by representatives of industry and, crucially importantly, of civil society. As speaker after speaker in the conference has stressed, we all have a stake in this issue. It is far too important to be left to governments alone to tackle. If one theme above all has emerged from our discussions in the last 2 days, it's the importance of cooperation. Cooperation between countries, but also between sectors, between government and industry, between government and civil society and industry. All have crucial roles to play. Thanks to Budapest last year, and now to Seoul, commitment to that cooperation has now firmly taken root. I'm delighted that this commitment and the progress made here in Seoul has been captured in the framework document to which you referred, Foreign Minister. I believe the Seoul framework is a terrific set of principles which we can all support. It shows that real progress is being made in building international consensus on how we tackle the risks in cyberspace. Tackle the risks, but crucially, without undermining the open, growth-driving, job-creating internet that we are trying to protect. And this degree of consensus is all due to and thanks to our Korean hosts' wide consultation and the advanced preparation of this document. As we leave here later today, it's essential that we keep the momentum going. So as the UK's contribution to taking this forward, I'm pleased to introduce our own Next Steps document. It'll shortly be posted on the conference website. This document aims to capture and summarize the activities taking place over the coming months to continue to take forward the 6 themes of the London agenda. The Next Steps document will also be posted on gov.uk. This is the British government's single domain for its web presence. It was launched a year ago today. It's its first birthday. It replaced many hundreds of websites to make much better information available to the public at a fraction of the cost of the predecessor arrangements, a saving of some 70% of the cost. Now we are well down the path of starting to put the government's transactional services online as well, as part of our digital by default strategy. So, cyberspace, digital government, all this enables citizens to interact more directly with each other and with their governments. And transparency, which is the hallmark of our age, is an idea whose time has come. On that note, I should like to highlight the forthcoming Open Government Partnership Summit that I shall be hosting in London at the end of this month. Representatives from 60 countries will gather to exchange success stories, to measure performance objectives against previous commitments, and to set ambitious new commitments for the future for greater openness. I look forward to welcoming as many of you as possible to that summit. And so, Foreign Minister, it remains for me just to thank you once again, our delightful Korean hosts, for organizing and delivering such a highly successful and productive 3rd International Conference on Cyberspace. And now, as we look forward to the future, I should like to introduce my distinguished colleague, former Foreign Minister to the Netherlands and Special Envoy, Uri Rosenthal. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Before I call upon Mr. Rosenthal, actually, I'd like to direct your attention to the screen for a very short video.
Nederland is van oudsher een land van handelsgeest, pioniers, innovatieve ideeën en sterke internationale samenwerking. Ook tegenwoordig is onze samenleving open en continu in beweging, waarbij digitalisering is ingebed in ons dagelijks leven. Nederland behoort dan ook tot de top wat betreft huishoudens met internettoegang en hoge verbindingssnelheid. Een domein dat altijd tot onze beschikking staat, 24 uur per dag, 7 dagen per week.
Dat maakt ons kwetsbaar. Waar we ons van oudsher al beschermen tegen gevaren van buitenaf, moeten we ons ook in dit digitale domein beschermen. Het Nationaal Cybersecurity Centrum is speciaal opgericht om de weerbaarheid van de Nederlandse samenleving op dit gebied te vergroten.
Samen kunnen we Nederland veiliger maken, wanneer overheid, bedrijfsleven en wetenschap de krachten bundelen. Onze samenwerkingspartners zijn ook afkomstig uit diverse private sectoren, zoals telecom, transport en elektriciteit. De digitale factor binnen deze sectoren wordt steeds bepalender en is van invloed op het functioneren van onze samenleving. Daarom is bescherming essentieel.
Digitaal leven is grenzeloos en daarom maakt het centrum deel uit van meerdere internationale netwerken. Deze samenwerkingen zijn zowel op operationeel vlak als op het gebied van kennisdeling en hiermee heeft het centrum reeds meerdere successen behaald.
Veilig werken en leven is de basis van onze maatschappij. En om onze weerbaarheid te vergroten is het intensiveren van de diverse samenwerkingsvormen het speerpunt van het Nationaal Cybersecurity Centrum. Voor nu en in de toekomst. Nederland samen digitaal veilig.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium with a round of applause His Excellency Mr. Uriah Rosenthal, Special Envoy of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands, to deliver special remarks.
Your Excellency, Minister of Foreign Affairs Yoon, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to make a short statement here as the special envoy of the government of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. But let me first sincerely thank you, your host of the past 2 days. Korea has done a fantastic job in hosting this conference on cyberspace. You not only have brought us to a conference that has broadened and deepened the discussion about security, freedom, and prosperity in the cyber domain, but you also did it in a way that showed us these 2 days all the great qualities that Korea has to offer. And I commend you with that accomplishment. Ladies and gentlemen, Korea has thereby strengthened the initiative that was taken so timely by the United Kingdom in 2011 and followed up by Hungary in 2012. We, on our part, will build upon the outstanding achievements of these countries, and it will not be easy for us to match this Seoul event, but we will do our utmost. And for that matter, I can announce proudly, but with humility to the task, that the Netherlands has been asked and has accepted to host the next conference on cyberspace. It will be held early 2015 in the City of Peace, Justice and Security, The Hague. Korea and the Netherlands have a lot in common. We are both technologically advanced nations in which innovation and entrepreneurship are key success factors. We both cherish free societies in a secure world. We do not see a trade-off between the two, but rather consider them as inseparable, mutually reinforcing elements on which growth and prosperity can flourish. Now, in this context, governments, but definitely the private sector, academia and civil society too, are our valued partners. As I said, Korea and the Netherlands have a lot in common. I will not dwell too long, and this is more particularly for our Korean friends, I will not dwell too long upon our common appreciation of Dutch-style soccer, which was brought to Korea so successfully by Dutch coach Guus Hiddink. A style, soccer style, that represents creativity and commitment to accomplish its goals. But of course, I'm here to also refer to our common understanding that we have to come together as the nations of the world and work together to solve the great challenges of our time. In 2012, Korea hosted the Nuclear Security Summit here in Seoul, which subsequently we will host in March 2014 in The Hague. This conference on cyberspace is another example of an initiative that we will gladly bring further from where our Korean hosts have handed it over to us. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by inviting you on behalf of my government to the city of The Hague in 2015 to continue our discussions on cyberspace. I'm looking forward to seeing you all there in 2015. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite back up to the podium His Excellency Mr. Yoon Byung-se, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea, to deliver closing remarks. Would you please welcome him back with a round of applause?
Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to see that the 2013 Seoul Conference on Cyberspace is coming to a very successful closing. Let me take this opportunity to thank all those who have contributed to making this conference a resounding success. I want to pay special tribute to the members of the Preparatory Committee, the Private Advisory Committee, and so many volunteers without whose efforts this conference could not have been possible. My sincere appreciation goes also to the delegations of the United Kingdom and Hungary, the two former chairs of the Conference on Cyberspace, who shared with us their invaluable expertise and experience and advice. Most of all, on behalf of the government and the people of Korea, I'd like to thank all participating delegations for sharing the wisdom and insights with such enthusiasm and professionalism. Ladies and gentlemen, during the opening ceremony, I stressed the need for a new order in this new frontier called cyberspace, which is full of opportunities and challenges. I also expressed my hope that the Seoul Conference would provide a new direction and momentum for future progress. In this regard, I'm very pleased that this conference was able to express its support for the Seoul Framework for and commitment to open and secure cyberspace and best practices, together with the chair's summary. In my humble view, these outcomes of the Seoul Conference represents the best common political denominator that can be summoned among the largest number of delegations to have attended the conference on cyberspace. I submit that the chair's summary and the Seoul framework will serve as a meaningful turning point in our quest to build an open and secure cyberspace. The realization of the need for norms on cyberspace in London 2 years ago has taken concrete shape in the Seoul framework that we are supporting today. And I believe that our efforts today will pave the way for further progress in The Hague in 2015. In this regard, as emphasized by British Cabinet Minister Francis Maudie, we should focus on developing international norms that reflect the importance of cooperation between countries and between sectors including government, industry, and civil society, under the framework set in the Seoul Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 2 days, I was able to see and feel passion ignite as everyone in this conference hall came together in the pursuit of a common cause. That cause is to ensure that cyberspace develops into a new frontier that is open, secure, and prosperous. I'm confident that such determination and passion, along with the friendship and professionalism that we have fostered during the Seoul Conference, will lead to a win-win outcome that will enhance the competitiveness of participating countries and promote global prosperity. A pioneer who explores a new path may take each step in fear of the unknown, but overcomes such anxieties, thinking of those who will later follow his or her footstep in comfort. Such a sentiment may have been what you felt as you took part in the various discussions over the past 2 days. The journey that we have begun will be long, and it will not be easy. As reflected in the proverb, just as iron sharpens iron, friends brighten the faces of each other. I hope that the solidarity and friendship forged in Seoul will serve to sharpen our collective wisdom as we pave the way for global prosperity. As your friend, Korea will also continue to actively take part in the global efforts to shape the norms of cyberspace. I look forward to seeing you again in The Hague 2015. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the closing ceremony for Seoul Conference on Cyberspace 2013. A press conference will now be held at Hall E Media Center on the 3rd floor. Once again, we'd like to thank all participants, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, for your attendance and for staying with us until the end. Please have a pleasant evening and a safe journey home. 감사합니다.